Bitcoin is breaking above its major resistance. Can we successfully reclaim it and continue towards $135,000? Or are we doomed for a failure? Let's analyze. Hello ladies and gentlemen of the Paradise Club, this is Simon from Crypto Paradise. Welcome back, it's great to have you here. Today is Tuesday and that's the day for analyzing Bitcoin on multiple time frames. So we will begin with reminding ourselves what we have been talking about in the previous video. As you know, we have been taking a look at this resistance, and after we have broken it to the upside, right now we are trying to have a reclaim. With ParadiseFamilyVIPs, we have been getting ready for this breakout. We have created a limit breaker on a short-term trade position. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we have got a beautiful entry right here, and just currently yesterday we have been taking a second target, which is a beautiful trade. But does it mean that we will finish right here, or does it mean that we are just taking a profit and we can continue much higher? We will be taking a look, ladies and gentlemen. I will be telling you also from the swing trading perspective, which is basically this analysis about macro swing trading perspective, what I'm looking for right now. But first of all, let's analyze what's going on weekly time frame. Ladies and gentlemen, we have hit once again the $121,000 on the weekly time frame. We have closed the candle again below it, so this resistance is still holding strong, ladies and gentlemen. But take a look how many weeks we are below it already. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one is going to be the fifth one, ladies and gentlemen. You know the 5 and 3 rules from the Elliott Wave perspective. It is really important to break it right now this week, otherwise there will be a higher probability of a rejection. If we take a look at the daily time frame, by the way, if you want more information about the weekly time frame, go and watch the previous video. I've spent loads of time there about updating you about the weekly time frame. Let's take a look on the daily time frame right now, ladies and gentlemen. This one is really important, very interesting, because as you know, we are creating this corrective mode wave in formation of a zigzag. As you know from our website mycryptoparadise.com, the zigzag is subdividing itself into 3 smaller waves. The A wave and C wave are motive mode waves. That means they are subdividing itself into 5 smaller waves itself. We have been going through the A wave, we have been going through the B wave by connecting the bottom of the A wave with the bottom of the B wave and placing the slope of the trend line to the top of the A wave. We are getting some kind of possible resistance of an upcoming rally. Okay, together with that, you understand that the $135,000 is from the ultra high time frame perspective next major ultra high time frame resistance. Very important Fibonacci retracement level, ladies and gentlemen. Together with that, right now we are creating a hidden bullish divergence. As you can see, the price action is right now creating a higher low, but the indicator, the MACD in this case, take a look at the histogram, we are creating a lower low, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, this is a textbook example of a hidden bullish divergence, and basically suggests that even though the momentum, the bearish momentum is really heavy, the price action is staying steady, not breaking the previous low, and that basically gives you some kind of assumption that somebody big is absorbing the selling pressure. Take a look at the bearish momentum right here. We have got a confirmation by having a bullish cross right here, so this hidden bullish divergence is in play. From the Elliott Wave perspective, ladies and gentlemen, we are right now creating the C wave of our ABC Zigzag. So basically this is going to be a C wave that subdivides itself into 5 smaller waves, and with the highest probability the fifth one will take us towards $135,000, but we need to be waiting for more confirmations to make sure that we are saying that with the utmost certainty, right? As you know, in the crypto market nothing is certain. You need to play with probabilities and position yourselves into trades based on that. If we take a look at the RSI indicator, we can confirm the bullish divergence because we have equal lows right here. Again, a high low on the price action. This is exaggerated bullish divergence. On the Stochastic RSI, we have 2 open legs. Yes, you might say that we are going into the overbought area, but as you can see, this doesn't really matter because the open legs suggest the momentum momentum of bulls is strong, all right? It doesn't mean on the stochastic RSI that if you go above 80, it is overbought and we automatically going down. Take a look what happened right here during 26th of June. We have been also in the overbought area, but because the legs been very nicely opened, as we are having it right now, we have started a beautiful trend that we have been able to understand will finish right here by again taking the slope of the bottom of the first and second waves, right? We have placed our trend lines right here, copied the slope, we have placed it to the top of the first wave, we have extended that, and basically that gave us the pre-assumed target of the third wave, right? So as you remember, we have afterwards created the shooting star candlestick pattern that was confirmed with a bearish engulfing candlestick pattern, the next one. Right now you can see a shooting candlestick pattern again. From our website you can understand that this is usually visible at reversal points after some bull trend, right? So it gives you a hint that the bears are really getting strong at some resistances and they are being aggressive. Aggressive selling means somebody is very confident of a reversal, somebody big one, right? And as you can see, this wick out is pretty much the same as we have got it right here, but this is just one sign. It's not a certainty that we need to immediately go to the downside. It's just few points to some of your tactic for bulls or bears. So this is obviously a bearish points, but we need more confirmations, because right now the next daily candle, if it's gonna engulf to the upside this body of this candle, it will actually mean that the bulls are still very strong and they are actually reclaiming successfully this previous resistance into a support. So if we calculate the sub waves of our C wave, ladies and gentlemen, this was our first wave, this was our secondary wave, third wave, fourth wave that I will be sharing with you in a minute, that is probably finished, ladies and gentlemen, and right now we are starting the fifth wave. Because this third wave wasn't extended, okay, the fifth wave usually is extended. It's one of the guidelines from the Elliott Wave perspective, from the Elliott Wave theory, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, somebody might say, well, most of the times the third wave needs to be the longest one, but it's not a rule, alright? Lots of people wrongly think that the third one needs to always be the biggest one. That's wrong, okay? The third one just cannot be the shortest one. And if you take a look at the first wave, you can clearly see and clearly say that the third one isn't the shortest one. So in my opinion, right now we are finishing the first wave, then we will have a secondary wave. After that we will have the most impulsive third wave, and the fifth wave might take us towards $135,000, given that we will be able to hold above this ascending trend line of this zigzag channel, okay? And also we are very, very closely monitoring how we are reacting to this orange moving average trend line. Right now, however, what is nice is to see that we have got a nice breakout, okay, with extended volume, rising volume, ladies and gentlemen, and right now we are trying to reclaim it. So we have closed already one daily candle above it, this one. Even though it was a bearish candle, we still held nicely above the support, all right? So right now I can already say that it was a support because the next candle held above it, and right now we are getting a next confirmation from this daily candle, which is kinda nicely impulsive, showing a nice bullish volume, which is visible on the lower time frames. Let's zoom right now into the 4-hour time frame. Ladies and gentlemen, right now I do believe that the fourth wave was finished with few fakeouts, okay? There was loads of fakeouts in the middle of the price action and the heaviest one in the E wave. So however, if you know how to trade these contracting triangles from our website mycryptoparadise.com, you know that they subdivides itself into 5 small waves, and indeed there might be fakeouts in the middle and also in the E wave, in the last wave, to shake out loads of traders, and that's exactly what happened in the E wave. By the way, all of these waves needs to be a corrective mode waves, okay? So we have got A wave right here, B wave right here, C wave, D wave, and the E wave, as you can see, finished as a fake out. It dipped nicely below the descending trend line, shaked out loads of traders, stopped exactly above the 1.618 Fibonacci retracement level, left this liquidity pool untouched, okay, and then it started to create a new impulse to the upside. Ladies and gentlemen, this was deviation, this was the fake out I'm talking about, okay. After that we have started to create 5 moves to the upside, 1, 2, 3, 4, and right now we have created the 5th one, but the 5th one might not be finished yet, okay, and you will understand why once we zoom into even a lower time frame. What we can say from the medium time frame perspective is that if we take a look at the volume, we can clearly see that the bulls are picking loads of strength, okay. So on the breakout you can see volume nicely above the moving average volume trend line, and as we have tried to break below it, all right, below this support that was previously acting as a resistance, we have a decrease in volume, okay. And right now you can see on this 4-hour candle we are starting to pick up to the upside, and the volume is much heavier than what we have had on the attempt to start breaking to the downside. So ladies and gentlemen, this is a nice reclaim right now. As you know, this was previously a resistance zone, and we are also reclaiming the destiny trend of our contracting triangle, which is usually visible at 4th wave of an impulse. So this is basically a contracting triangle, with this being the deviation with the highest probability if we are able to keep holding above this demand zone. Ladies and gentlemen, right now we have got a successful break to the upside, and right now you can see that we are getting a reclaim. We are holding above the demand zone, above the contracting triangle descending trend line. Loads of confluences at this level, because also you have this channel from the possible zigzag previously, but definitely it was holding the bottom of the first and bottom of the secondary wave, right? So very important channel right here, even though it wasn't extended, but as you can see it worked nicely on a reclaim. So it held pretty nicely this ascending trend line as a support, and right now we have a confluence at this level with the descending trend line plus the demand zone. This is a Fibonacci retracement level, also a point of control from this price action. Ladies and gentlemen, you know from these videos that the more confluences you have at some level, the stronger it is, right? And the harder it gets to break. And right now you can see also an impulsive reaction on that demand zone, on that confluences, and that basically confirms that we are having a successful breakout, and most importantly the reclaim I'm always talking about. So if you want to have a successful reclaim of a resistance or a support, what you need to have to turn it and to successfully say, all right, this is not a fake out, this is a successful reclaim, you need to break with nice volume and also a retest, and then you need some reaction, and we have got that retest, and right now we are having some nice reaction. Ladies and gentlemen, it didn't happen right here, right? As you can see, we have got a break to the downside. There was some volume, but it wasn't really significant. But most importantly, we have not got the double top formation, right? The next top didn't hold, and we have started to break back to the upside in a reversal. So this was a fake out, this was a clear deviation. Also, you can see on the MACD histogram we are having a bullish divergence. Again, the price action is creating higher low, but the MACD histogram is creating lower low, and right now you can already confirm it on this candle right here. The momentum is decreasing, all right? So basically we are getting back to the green numbers. Confirmed bullish divergence. Ladies and gentlemen, it is right now important to see how it's gonna react to the RSI average trend line, this blue one. We need to have a cross, okay? If it's going to be just a bearish retest, we are going down. So be very careful how this reaction is gonna be happening with ParadiseTeam. We are monitoring the market 24/7, and based on that we are trading the market, and as you already know, our personal trades we are sharing inside of ParadiseFamilyVIP live. Let's take a look right now how we are developing the Elliott Wave count on a low time frame chart, ladies and gentlemen. So right here you see that I have basically written that the E wave, the end of the high time frame 4th wave, finished right here. After that we have started started the impulsive mode wave. Here it was the first wave, secondary wave, third wave, fourth wave, which is the rule of alternation if I have been updating you in the previous video. So this was a deep correction, this is sideways correction that confirmed that this is impulse. And because the third wave was an extended one, I do believe the fifth wave is going to be extended one. All right, so this will be the first wave from a higher degree perspective. So basically you already know, let me remind it to you once again, the fifth wave of an impulse is a motive mode wave, right? So straight line, but this line is subdividing itself into 5 smaller waves. So I believe that right now we are inside of this one, inside of the higher degree first wave. And because the third wave on the low time frame was an extended one, I do believe the fifth wave will be an extended one because of the guidelines from the Elliott Wave theory. If that's gonna be the case, this was a first wave of that fifth wave. So let me show you what I mean. Yeah, so we are right now here finished the fourth wave and we are about to have the fifth wave. The fifth wave subdivides itself into 5 smaller waves, right? So this was the first wave, secondary wave, third wave. Right now we are having the fourth wave, and I do believe there is a high probability that right now we are creating the fifth wave. Ladies and gentlemen, for the fifth wave, here I believe we have already created a secondary wave. Right now we will have a third wave, then we will have a fourth wave, and then we will have the fifth wave. Where the fifth wave is gonna finish, it's really a question, because this is right now an ending diagonal, because the third wave went inside of the price territory of the first and secondary wave. Okay, the fourth wave, unlike the secondary wave, it wasn't a sideways correction, it was again a deep correction. So basically rule of alternation, and it basically confirms this is an impulsive mode wave. And ladies and gentlemen, this fourth wave was a zigzag, a beautiful zigzag, absolutely wonderful. This was A wave, B wave, C wave. If we take a look at the A wave, you know that one of the guidelines is that the A wave is very similar to the length of the C wave, right? So we can measure that, bang, almost similar, so absolutely beautiful. This was the bottom. Then we have got the secondary wave, ladies and gentlemen, and right now we are creating the third wave. Where it's gonna finish, we need to be very careful watching how it's right now the price action developing, because we are right now getting a touch of 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level. For continuation higher, ladies and gentlemen, we need to reclaim this, okay? And because this is an ending diagonal, it means that the fifth wave can be truncated, so it can finish below the end of the third wave. Be very aware of that. So right now with the Paradise team, we are monitoring how the price action is going to be developing. If we will be able to reclaim this, okay, we are continuing towards 1.272 or 1.618 Fibonacci retracement level. The highest possible target of this impulse, I do believe, is going to be at around $126,000, where, let me put this into a green color so you can understand, this is going to be a resistance, where I do believe the first wave of the higher degree first wave of our higher degree C wave, all right, motive mode wave, is going to finish. So right now, however, we need to understand that it might be truncated, so it might finish below the third wave. If that's going to be the case, ladies and gentlemen, if that's going to be the case, we are gonna create 5 moves that will end right here. We're gonna have afterwards a correction, and the correction, I do believe, will be touching the bottom of the fourth wave from the higher degree perspective, motive mode wave, before we can start going to the upside. But again, right now I see loads of bullishness also behind the scenes. We've taken it easy. I've not been sharing with you in this video the behind the scenes perspective. I will share that with you on Thursday. As you know, I'm recording for you every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday, so smash the like button so the YouTube can remind you where the next video is going to be published exactly at the time. You will get a reminder from the YouTube so you don't miss it, and I will be updating you about the price action. But right now, remember, the fifth wave can be truncated if we are gonna create 5 moves. All right, after that we will have a correction towards here, and and then we will continue towards the next major resistance. From the low time frame perspective, it's $126,000, and it's not going to be first wave already, because the first wave will finish right here. This will be secondary wave, and the third wave probably will finish right here, maybe even higher, because the price action is going to be absolutely different, and the Fibonacci retracement levels as well. That is why it's so important, and that's exactly what we are doing inside of Paradise Family VIP. With Paradise Team, we are monitoring the market 24/7, and we are adjusting our trading strategies based on that. All right, so you need to be flexible, you need to be like water when you are basically trading. You need to pay attention what's going on, how the price action is developing, and changing your trading tactics and strategies based on that, in order for you to always have an edge. All right, and like that be able to be profitable long term. Ladies and gentlemen, so you know exactly how the price action is going to be with the highest probability. Right now you just need to spectate the 5 moves. Once we get that, we are having a rejection. All right, so once we have a 5 moves, be it to this level right here, to around $126,000, ladies and gentlemen, so be it towards this level right here in a 5 moves spectrum, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the next major resistance from the low time frame perspective. If it's going to be truncated, you will spectate 5 moves. We are gonna have a correction towards here, most likely, but it can even be lower. It can be to the bottom of the, to the top of the first wave. All right, so it can be to around $115,000, or it will be to around $117,000, retesting this descending contracting triangle basically, and you need to spectate how this is going to be reacting, and then we might have continuation in the third wave to the upside. Okay, so pay attention to the details, ladies and gentlemen, but right now I'm quite liking how we are trying to reclaim this resistance into a support. So far it seems that it's going to be holding well. Okay, so I'm actually, from a swing trading perspective, treating this as a bull. So we are looking actively for bullish opportunities, and again, it depends on your strategy when you are entering, when you are exiting. It depends on your trading tactics, how aggressive you are, how defensive you are right here, or if you are shorting or if you are longing. So thank you for watching. I will see you again on Thursday. Cheers.
My crypto paradise.